What's up, everyone, and welcome. You are watching Well-Rounded Individual. I am your host, Adam Schindler. I've got another great show for you today. I have an amazing guest, another amazing guest. He is a great friend of mine. He is a legal immigrant. He's an entrepreneur, a businessman, a family man, and an all-around amazing person. Please welcome to the show, Maysam Sabitian. Welcome. How are you, sir?
Thank you, my friend. How are you?
I'm excellent.
First of all, congratulations on your show. First few episodes I watched, it was phenomenal. And I'm sure everyone is going to learn a lot from it. So I just wanted to extend my congratulations to you. And you know how much I admire you and your personality. And thank you for having me here.
No, absolutely. It's absolutely my pleasure to have you here. I've been, when I've been thinking up this concept and this idea, and I think of just valuable people that I can bring on the show to share their mind, share their processes, and to share like a light of positivity and just influence. You come to the top of mind. You're one of the first people that I definitely wanted to have on here to share with. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
With the show being Well-Rounded Individual, you embody that. Everything that I know about you, you embody that. So what would you say are some characteristics or just some things that you would, if you're building a person, well-roundedness, what are some characteristics of that for you?
Well, if you have to define it, in my opinion, what a well-rounded individual is, it's someone who embraces the harmony of mind, body, character, and turn that into happiness. And because, my opinion, success does not bring happiness. Happiness brings success. And that is the embodiment of every person's goal. You want to be happy. You don't want to be successful and not happy, because what do you gain from it?
Right.
Success without happiness is nothing.
Right.
So I think a well-rounded individual is someone who embraces that, who understands that you have to harmonize everything: your mind, your brain, your body, your soul, if you want to say that, or your character, your surroundings, your family, and harmonize them. And once you do that and you turn that into happiness and you start doing things that make you happy in a proper way, of course, right? Then that way you will become a well-rounded individual all across it.
I love how you put that, because, so many people use like this well-rounded individual or success as a matter of metrics. But the way you just described it is like very, like almost like feeling-esque, right? Because you can be successful in many areas of life financially and still be miserable, right? You can be very happy in a home or a family life and still have struggles because you didn't put enough energy towards something that is going to make everything around you better. But that harmonization of everything involved,
Absolutely.
I love the way you describe that. That's something that makes so much sense and something that I'm going to want to use moving forward. So
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about the balance.
Yeah.
It's a balance and harmony, and you will find life much easier to handle. Because society right now is so toxic. I don't want to be negative about it, because we were talking about how to be positive, and but the society is so toxic right now. And if you allow yourself to fall in that trap and join the club of toxicity, not only that makes you miserable, it makes your surrounding miserable. I'm a family man, right? I got 2 kids. They're the center of my universe right now. And in order, whatever I do, that's what makes me happy, is for their happiness. And I cannot make them happy if I'm not happy. And what makes me happy is that toxicity out of my life. You get mad at times, you get upset. That's the nature of human being, which is fine. But at one point, you have to find out, is it worth me being mad more than 30 seconds? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that is my philosophy. And then you don't learn that in school. You don't learn that from your parents. You learn it as you live.
Right, through experience.
As long as you're willing to adopt, because that's what intelligence is. Intelligence is not someone that was born intelligent. It's someone who adopts with the society and understand the concept of, I am not perfect, but I'm willing to work to get as close to perfect as possible.
Right.
Right. So that is a route that I want to take, and that toxicity that I was talking about
Mm-hmm.
is the big speed bump
Right.
on the way to do that.
Right.
Does
Yeah,
that
and
make
that's the
sense?
thing too, is like
Yeah.
a bad moment doesn't have to cause a bad day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So we can figure it out. It's a natural reaction to process it and then go back to your normal,
Yeah.
right? Which is positivity, happiness, bringing joy.
Absolutely.
And I love that you mentioned that as well, like your environment, right? So I was going to say dad of the year. The one thing that I truly admire about you is just your ability and always willingness to show up for your children no matter what. You told me a story recently. I was going to wait it till later in the podcast to get into this. But you told me a story recently about how Radin, who is your son, you guys went to Miami for one day because his favorite soccer player is Messi.
Yes.
And you guys went to watch them. You had VIP tickets. It was the most amazing day ever. And he just had an incredible time. And then upon returning from the trip, you guys were hanging out and kind of, he was just like thinking. And he said to you, you know what? I think I have the best dad in the world. And that's got to just be everything that you want.
That's the happiness I was talking to you about, right? I'm successful. I could have nothing in my bank account right now. I could have no home. But if my son is happy with who I am and he's happy with who he is, I'm a very successful person. Right. You do want to make the best life for them. Work hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's the saying that says you work hard in order to be lazy, in order to afford being lazy later, right? So that all is good. But what is the eventual goal? What are you trying to gain out of it? That my son being happy and telling me that, hey, dad, so far you've been a good dad.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to be 2 years from now. But so far, I've done the best I could. Yeah, you make mistakes. You do things that you regret later, but as long as it's not intentional and you're willing to learn from it, that's what it is. Yeah, he loves Messi, man. Like, he loves soccer. Like, he's been going to soccer camps every other week right now. He's been invited to PSG in Paris to go to a Paris experience, and he's also invited to Madrid for Real Madrid experience to go actually practice at the stadium with their coaches, with their junior coaches, go to the game, maybe meet a couple of players. So that's his passion, and I'll do anything to push him through what he likes to do. Whether something comes out of it or not, doesn't matter, right?
Right.
Doing the right thing at the moment is what matters.
And that's an amazing experience, but B, something's going to come out of it.
Yeah.
The outcome is unknown. However, what is guaranteed to come out of it is his experience in having an opportunity that many kids won't ever get, a once in a lifetime type thing, which is amazing.
It's what I'm trying to implement with him and with my daughter is I'm trying to redefine what knowledge is, what education is to them. Because the society's knowledge and education definition is a little different than what I personally believe. I believe knowledge and education is understanding values. And if you understand the value of something, then you're knowledgeable. you're educated.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you an example. There's a mic. We're speaking into it, right? The knowledge is, this is a mic. I know you can speak into it. That's the knowledge, right? But is that enough to know about this mic? The value comes, what am I going to do with it?
Mm-hmm.
What am I could sit here and I could start cussing at the entire word and go through politics until I hate this guy. I love this guy. I wanted this. Or I could say something in here that changes a mind in the right way. It could prosper someone's life. Or it could, you and I, we could communicate and learn from each other, even if we disagree. That's the value of this mic. And you take that in a grander picture, that's knowledge, that's education.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, you go to school, you learn about things, right? But I want you to learn the value of what you're learning.
Right.
What are you going to do with that knowledge?
Exactly. The implementation
Yes.
of what you've learned.
Yes.
Right. So everyone can have just a list of known facts, but if it's just sitting in your head and that's all, then what is it for?
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. No, I love you. I'm right with you on that. That's makes so much sense to me as well. And speaking of that, let's go back to the hardworking part. Like I want you to kind of like walk us through where you've come through as far as that hardworking part, right? Because you came here in 1998, correct?
Yes.
From Iran.
Yes.
And you have a very successful business now. It's 2024. You started it in 2013. It's been 11 years, so congratulations on sustaining such a great business so long. But you started with humble beginnings.
Yes.
Right? No money, not a lot of money, no English really.
Yeah.
And then you started pushing carts and then worked your way to the entrepreneur that you are today. So could you just kind of walk us through that path and where your mind was and how you were able to do that and build that?
So in order to answer your question, I have to give you a brief history of what I did to get to where I am.
Mm-hmm.
And that might explain things. So when I left the country due to persecution of the religion, and I came to the United States, I came with my father, mother, and a 7-year-old sister. And I knew barely minimum English, hi, how are you? How much is this? What is the address? Like minimum, right?
Right.
I come here and then they put me at high school. All right. 12th grade. The first class I go to, U.S. Constitution. That's what they're teaching. I have no idea what they're talking about, man. I'm like, get me the hell out of this place. I don't know what they're talking about, right? So I was like, I'm scared. And then you got to realize, when I flew into Vegas, I flew in from Pakistan to here. And good with Pakistan, everything is good. But when you come, it's a different environment, right? You fly into Vegas at night with all these lights and glamorous living, and you just get blindsided. Like, what is this, right? So I came here, no money, had no family, no one that knows us or our language. Catholic Charities of Southern Nevada sponsored us to come here. They put us in a place, and I don't know, you're familiar with Vegas, Swenson, not the best area in town. And I was scared. I was a 17-year-old boy, with all the testosterone, and I wanted to do things and I couldn't, and I was afraid of the new society, this new place they just dropped us in. So that fear of what am I going to do was probably the best motive for me at that point. It encouraged me to, okay, you know what? Take that fear and weakness and turn it into success. I don't think I was thinking like that then, but I think in my subconscious, that's what moved me. I might be wrong, but at least that's what I think, right? So I went to school. There were stores here. I don't know how long you live in Vegas, but there were stores here called Lucky's, and now they call them Albertsons. They changed them to Albertsons. I went there one day. I said, I need a job. They said, well, you can push the carts, $6 an hour. That was my first job. So I walked from home to after school to Lucky's, work for 3-4 hours, come home, do whatever I need to do, and then the next day. That was my routine. And then I was like, I don't want to do this. I'm better than this. So and then when we were here at, I think, third day, I was like, I need to find someone that helped me to educate me where to go, what to do. So I picked up, remember those phone books they had?
Yeah.
The yellow and white. So I picked one up and I went through the names and I was like, okay, let me figure out if I can find a Persian name in there, right? So I looked at the Persian names, right? And I found the name. And I picked up the phone that, put the coin in there, called the number. I said, hi, look, I don't want money. I don't want anything from you. I just want you to do, there was a Baha'i center. I was like, refer us to Baha'i center because a lot of people in there, they could relate. We were Baha'is, we came here. So they're like, look, we're from Afghanistan. We're not even from Iran, but there's a family. This is the number, call them. So we called that family and I'm always indebted to that family. And then they're the ones that kind of took us there. And then we started meeting people, kind of understanding where we were. So at that moment, then I got the Lucky's job. And then I started working at Tropicana as a gift shop clerk. I was just cashier, right? Mm-hmm. And then from there, I went to MGM box office. And then from there, I became a supervisor there. And then from there, I went to Caesars, front desk, VIP lounge. Then I became a casino host. And I was casino host all the way through 2012. My last employment was at Mirage, right? Then I became an independent casino host. So what that is you bring clients to these casinos. You don't work for the casino, you work with them, and then they'll give you commission based on, the players. And then that's my route. And then I started saving money and, started a business. And because I worked in corporate and in casino business, and I was very involved with nightlife and I knew everyone in there, that helped me build my business. But the whole thing that I'm trying to tell you is when no one was helping me, I didn't give up. And I still don't think I'm successful to this day because I am not where I want to be. I have a long way to go. I want to be here. I'm right here. But from where I was to where I am now, that's a route that I could be proud of myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And should be.
And the biggest moment are my kids, because those are the two that I think if you tell me what is the best thing you've ever done in your life, I'm like, these two right here. That's the best thing that could happen to me. And you have a son and you relate with that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And thank you, first of all, for sharing all of that with us. That is just such an inspiring story to me to show that someone can come to a completely foreign place, not know the language or any people, but be driven by desire to be more and be better and create that for yourself, which you've created for yourself. And you continue to create. I love what you said. Is like, I'm not where I want to be yet. It's because it's a never-ending process, right? But you've created an amazing life for your children, your family. I mean, you've got an amazing business. You're living the American dream.
Absolutely. I live in the best country on earth. No doubt.
Yeah, I love that.
And this, I have to tell you, not to make it emotional or political, but I have to tell you, as a foreigner, I always say I'm a fucking foreigner, right?
Yeah.
People need to know the value of this country, okay? The Constitution of this country is something that changed the history of humanity. What it gives you, the freedom that it gives you. Yes, there are flaws. There are things that could get better. But when you visit other countries, even the developed countries around in Europe or other countries, and then you come to the United States, still to this day, with all the negativity, all this political infighting, to this day, this is the best country on earth. And I think the best constitutional government in the history of humanity. I'm very proud of where I come from, okay? We have 5,000 years of history. 5,000 years ago, we had the best country on earth. But who is the best? Which one is the best country in here? They gave me a life here that my own country wouldn't give me. Okay, they gave me opportunities here that my own country. That's why it hates. It bothers me when I see so much hate towards
America.
America. Okay, you have to go live in other countries and come back here. I have a friend who lives in San Diego. I know I'm going a little off subject.
No, absolutely. Go right ahead. I love where we're going here.
I have a friend who lives in San Diego. He's like a brother to me. He probably, after watching this, he's gonna call me and scream at me. But him and I we're on different spectrum, political views, completely different. But I love him as my own brother. I do. He knows that too. And was telling me that he wants to move to another country. Okay, because he wants to, gather his money, whatever he has, and go enjoy a retirement, right? And I'm happy for him because that makes him happy. But he's like, you should do the same thing. I said, I can't do that. I have too much love for this country, and I have too much heart for working hard because I can't retire. The day that I retire, that's the end of me.
Yeah.
So that is where, my belief system is as far as United States, because I hope that people appreciate this country. We hear a lot of sad stories. This what happened this past weekend. This Republican, Democrats. We all have our own belief system. I can sit here and talk about politics for 2 hours with you, okay? Because I try to educate myself about what's going on. But that's irrelevant. I can't change your mind. I cannot change your mind, unfortunately. And that's a sad thing. But still, we have to understand, if I can change anyone's mind by listening to this, please believe me, this is from a fucking foreigner. I am telling you, this is the best country that you could live in, still to this date. Now, I don't know 2 years from now, 3 years from now, but right now, this is the best country to live in.
I couldn't agree with you more. Coming from someone who's always lived here, I'm a bit, I don't know anything else. I've traveled abroad, but almost everyone that I know who has come here and immigrated here the legal way echoes your sentiment. Maybe I have an echo chamber of like-minded people as well, even with legal immigrants. But I love that you have that feeling towards this country. And it's honestly, your attitude towards this in particular, but towards life in general, is the reason why you are so successful. Because you always are looking at the positive.
Sure.
Even within the craziness that has been happening.
Trust me, I can be a negative person.
Yeah.
And I have been, and I probably will be. But the key is, how long do you keep that negativity in you? Mm-hmm. How long do you have that anger and I don't know, whatever, I don't want to use the wrong word, but how long do you want to be angry about something?
Right.
Okay. And what are you going to do about it?
Right.
All right. So yeah, I'm angry. You cussed at me. All right. 30 seconds. I'm going to scream at you. I'm going to defend myself. Then I'll walk away. I'll forget about it. I won't let that bother me. And I know you're like that. We talk about, so everyone needs to know. I got to tell this. I got to tell this story. So I was a fat boy. All right. And I started working out before I met Adam. And then, I had the privilege of training with him. And he changed me. You did. Not only by training me at the gym or telling me what to do, it's just as a good friend, about my health and well-being, and being a good role model for your clients. You're a badass guy, 10 miles a day running. I mean, what kind of an animal are you, brother? Just, you know what I'm saying, yeah. Right? So I just have to thank you publicly so everyone knows. I appreciate everything you've done for me. I know that we have a lot of mutual friends that they train with you, and I'm sure they all feel the same. You are one of the most well-rounded individuals I've ever met.
Thank you.
The love that you show for your son, the care that you show for your clients, dealing with crazy Persians like me and my wife. She's going to kick my ass later, but that's okay. It is a pleasure to have a friend like you, Adam. And I want everyone who's watching this to understand that whatever they see on their phones or their screens is whoever he is in real life is what this is. A very structured, clean-minded, unfortunately, sometimes mean to me at the gym. You know, he kicked my butt today. Yeah. You know, he's like, I know you're going to be going to my show today, but let me just wear you out a little bit. Because he knows I talk a lot, so.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. You know,
you.
coming from you, it really means a lot.
Thank you.
And that's something that I can echo about you as well. Is that, and that's something that I've continually learned. And you know, I don't want to turn this into an ass kissing contest.
No, it's okay.
But
let's see who wins.
But something that I've noticed about you, and that I've noticed about you from the day that I met you, is that. And once I've learned more about you and, you know, everything that you've built and everything that you do and who you are, is that I think a large reason of why you've been able to build what you've been able to build, and you have the influence and just respect of people, is how you treat other people. And it's not, never once have I ever thought that you weren't directly looking out for me when you were doing something, right? It's very selfless in your actions, right? It's never a selfish thing, and it's generosity. I see how generous you are to the people you love, your family, your children, but the people you work with as well. How accommodating you are, and just how kind you are to other people. I mean, also, you're a strong man as well, and you hold your ground when you need to, which I think is very, very important. So you have that strong masculine, I am a businessman, but also the kindness to be able to want to invite people to want to be around you.
Yeah.
So that's something that I've taken into my personal business as well. And, you know, I don't want to be a trainer. I don't want to put people through workouts. What I want to do when you come see me is provide you a high-end service. So I'm serving the client rather than making them do something, which you are also making them do something.
Yeah, it's a little more than something, but but I love it.
Yeah.
You know, and then that's absolutely right. You know, just a little off subject, but related to that is with kids. You know, especially in some of the other cultures, I don't know how you believe into it, is they say that, hey, I have kids, I'm going to give them the best education, most love, feed them well, get them to best schools, whatever. So when I get old, they can take care of me. Or when I get, so they become successful, so I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
And take that and, you know, expand it to everything else, everyone else, your friends, your family, your people. I want you to be happy because that makes me happy, right? It's a great thing. It's noble. But what if I do the right thing and it doesn't make you happy? Am I still happy by doing the right thing, but you're not happy? What do you think? Does that make sense, what I'm telling you?
Yeah.
The question that I'm asking, does that?
So your intention was to make someone happy, and you did what you thought was right, but this other person is still not happy.
Yeah. Are you happy?
I think that you should be, if it's someone that you truly care about and their happiness is ultimately the goal, right?
Yeah.
So I think this comes back to being like process driven and not outcome driven.
Exactly.
Right. So as long as when you're doing the right things and you're guiding your life in the right way, that's the outcome you want. The eventual end, hopefully, will land on that outcome, right? But the process is what you can control. The outcome is you cannot control.
Exactly. That's the value I was talking about, right? The value of what you do to you is the most important thing. Okay? You could tell me that, hey, Maysam, you got to come today. You got to run for 2 miles, all right? But you're going to be very tired. right? The value of that to you is I'm making him a healthier person. Okay? I'm making him a more athletic, more fit person, right? I'm helping him, right? Now, you make me run 2 miles, I'm going to look at you, I'm going to start cussing at you, right?
Yeah.
I'm not happy. But are you going to be happy with yourself? Of course you should be, because you did the right thing,
Right.
right? So, and that's the whole concept of what you were saying about, sometimes you just got to do things because you think is right. You don't care about, rewards. If you do something for someone, you don't do it to get rewards from them.
Right.
You do it because you think it's the right thing. Same thing with your kids. I raise my kids. I do the best thing. They're a little, I look at them as they're a little gift to me that I have to pamper and prosper and then give back to society. Now, if I have been good to them, if they decide to come back to me and show me the same love, that's wonderful, right? But if I have not given them the education and the love that they do, and they decide not to go, I shouldn't expect anything from them.
Right.
Right? So that's where that goes.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing as well. Do you think that there's only so much you can do? And sometimes letting go and allowing them to find their own way once you've already given them every tool available and all the love, you know what I mean? Like, so there's a certain amount of tools that you can hand them before they kind of have to figure it out for themselves. But going back to the value-driven thing, right? So the values that have been instilled in them will allow them to learn and navigate on their way back to you.
Sure.
Because I know for sure that I was, especially from my mom, given unconditional love, and I strayed, but the values that were instilled in me allowed me to come back around and land back. Full circle.
Yeah. I can agree with you more, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Why do you run so much, man? You make me feel bad. So every time I come to you, you're like, hey, I ran 10 miles today. I'm like, dude, stop telling me that. Like, no.
This is a multi-layered.
I feel bad I ate rice today.
This is a multi-layered answer. I always tell people, so I used to hate running.
Yeah.
When I grew up, because I was an athlete my whole life, I hated running. Like, making you do a lap, that's punishment. Whenever I was a kid, we used to have to run.
Sure.
Like, I don't remember how much it was, like 30 laps around this gym before we even started wrestling practice. Worst part. You're always happy when you're done. But to me, running was punishment. And then when I was in the military, you kind of just had to run. So it was just part of what you did. And I always ran to be in shape for sports.
Mm-hmm.
But I would never run for the enjoyment of running. 35 years of that. And then when I was 35 years old, that's when my son was born. And there were times, because I'm a bit addicted to exercise, it's just part of who I am. It's part of what I've done my whole entire life. I didn't have time with an infant to drive 20 minutes to the gym, spend an hour and a half there, and then drive 20 minutes back. That's over 2 hours right there. Maybe I had 1 hour that I could. What's the easiest way? Go straight out your front door, run through the neighborhood, come back. So when Rory was born is when I really started getting more into running. And I was running.
Force of nature.
Right. But then when the pandemic happened and everything was shut down and there was no other option, the only way you could exercise was at home or run on the streets. That's when I really started doing it. And I started going to like the no days off thing. So during the pandemic, I was coaching at a fitness studio, and through social media, like just to keep the members motivated, I was like, okay, I'm going to do a 10K every single day for the remainder of the pandemic, which I thought I was going to do about 14 because I was naive. And I was like, yeah, it's going to be 2 weeks, like they said. I ended up doing 117 10Ks in a row, 10Ks or more in a row. And during that time, my brain changed for a multitude of reasons, because I saw society different. I saw what could happen differently. But I also saw what I'm capable of differently, because I grew stronger within my brain that I believed that I didn't have to rest. And this is not me advocating for no rest. You should definitely rest. You should definitely sleep. But I was able to take my cerebral ability and capability to another level because I worked through it.
Yeah.
But I started getting runner's high, which is a long way to say.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, it's absolutely a real thing. I get it every single time I run, and I know exactly when I'm about to tap into it. So
That's interesting.
partially because I like to stay in shape, but it's for my brain more than anything. I'm always a better person. I'm nicer. I'm calmer. I'm accomplished. I just feel better after a run. And I like to think too. I like to think and I like to learn.
I feel better by not running, so let's just agree to disagree.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing is, like, when I tell people this answer, like, people have asked me this not on camera before, and I give them the same answer, and they just like.
Oh. I just wanted to make sure
okay.
we have it recorded that you're an animal running 10 miles a day. That's insane, my friend. And then I see that you run like 120 degrees outside, and you're running outside with your shirt off. I'm like, there's something wrong with this guy. I mean, I love you. I'm just kidding. But, you know, it's like, wow. And that's why I asked that question. But that's interesting.
Yeah, it's mental. And it's to make me better as well. I listen to podcasts a lot whenever I run.
Yeah.
So I learn a lot when I run. Also, it's free dopamine. So I'm getting feel-good feelings while I'm also learning.
Absolutely.
While I'm also doing something good for my health. So it's multifaceted.
Awesome.
But with the hotness and the degrees, and I've said this on my story before, don't do that. The only reason I do that and I can do that is because I've conditioned myself over time. Yeah, and because I'm an absolute machine.
Yeah, I know you.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you.
To bring it around. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thanks for asking me. Yeah. So let's talk about your fitness journey as well. So we started training, and for those people who may not have known you before, or you know, they're first seeing you, you've transformed, right? And I've seen it not only in your body but also in your mind as well. Your confidence within the gym has completely grown. And I mean, look at your shoulders. You're getting built, bro. So how does that feel? Yeah.
No, so a few years ago, when I was doing my annual checkup, and then I went to a doctor, one of the best doctors I've ever met. I want you to bring him in one day to your show. You'll really enjoy having him. He told me, look, if you want to see your kids grow, you got to do this. You got to lose weight. You got to watch what you eat. You got to lose, you got to start working out. It's going to change my attitude. That one conversation with that doctor kind of had a big effect on me in order to change my lifestyle. So I started training, and I lost a lot of weight on my own, just by dieting and intermittent fasting. But then I wanted to get bigger, get stronger. I'm 42 years old, so it's difficult once you pass 40. There's no excuse, but it is difficult as age goes. But then I started working out, and then if you remember, when I was working out with you, I had a lot of complications in the beginning, and a lot of that is gone. And the reason I'm more motivated and more aggressive towards it because I've seen the results of working out. I've seen what happens when you don't work out. You're always tired. You're no energy. You don't feel good. Your clothing. I still think that I need to work more on my body, but from where I was to where I am, and I think you're the best witness to it, is a big change. We're talking about it today. I don't want to be a supermodel. Just show my six pack in there. I always tell people I have one here, 5 at home, but The fact that how I feel about myself, am I feeling energetic to spend time with the kids, to, you know, put something on, and I'm like, okay, you know what, this looks good on me. This is something that at some point in my life I was like, because I was so focused on work, you know, and being Persian, all the rice and meat and bread that we eat, that doesn't help. I have the best mother-in-law in town. I mean, my mom and my mother-in-law, they're the best cooks, and they cook. So that was just, it's just, you have the food in front of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't work out and you don't sleep. Good for me is I don't drink. So that was a big part of me being able to just cut down the food and lose the weight, and then have the best trainer to help me. And that's what it is, it's just putting your mind into it,
Yeah, absolutely. And what I'm hearing you say too is that you saw the results, but over a period, right?
Yes.
So it takes a little while. So what got you before the results came? Because once you started getting like the results, obviously that's super motivating.
Yeah.
But before that, what's the decision in your brain that says, do I go today? Do I not go today? Is it worth it? Am
It's
I
how I
wasting
feel
my time?
about you. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's, I've canceled on you before, and I'm guilty of that. And I'm sure in the back of your head, you're like, damn it, this guy again. But even the days that I cancel, it's not like I don't feel like to go.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because of my lifestyle. Because, my business, my, work with the casinos, my kids, the kids are a full-time job, even though my wife is the most wonderful wife and she takes care of the kids. But there are areas that I help her with the kids, especially with my son and daughter's, athletic part. So it takes a lot of my time, right? And the only thing that I don't have, and it's against me, is time. And I wish there were 28 hours a day instead of 24 hours, right? Because that's the only problem. For instance, I'll give you an answer. That's how much I love working out with you. Is I went to bed at 4 a.m. this morning. I woke up at 7, took my son to a soccer camp, and I came right to you after. No breakfast, no lunch, nothing. Just an energy drink and a bottle of water. Came there, worked out with you. I went home. Still, I just had something small to eat.
Protein,
took a
right?
shower. Yes. Oops. And then we went, I went back to my son's soccer camp, and I came right here. So if I could make that time, even that 1 hour a day with you, I wouldn't miss it. And people were used to tell me that once you start working out, you get addicted to it. And I didn't understand the concept of it. Now I feel it. Like I didn't work out with you for a week, and I felt like something is missing. Like I lost my wallet or something.
Right.
But it is very important to me now, and I wouldn't want to miss it. So the only time that I miss working out is the constraint of time.
Right.
So whoever created a calendar messed up. They should have put 28 hours.
Well, with that being said, you do a good job, because we consistently hit it around 3 times a week, almost every week. There are some weeks where we have vacations and getting our schedules
together. Can I tell you, those 3 hours feels like 7 hours. You work me out, man.
Well, that's part of.
I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it.
Yeah, that's part of my my expertise, though, is I want it to feel that way, not in a bad way, but in a good way, that you're getting more time than actually allotted, right?
Absolutely.
So when you can fit, it's just like compound interest, right? So the more you fit into an hour over a long period of time, the more it builds, the more it builds, the more it builds, the more you get out of it.
Yeah.
And the more consistent you stay, the more results you're going to get.
100%. 100%.
Okay.
No, I appreciate you. I appreciate everything you've done for me. I know you trained my wife. You trained a lot of my friends, and everyone has nothing but wonderful things to say about you. I don't know why, but they all love you.
Yeah. I appreciate that. And I'll just, keep trying to get better.
Don't forget, you have to pay me for all of this.
Yeah, I know. Thank you for saying such nice things. But see, this goes back to my thing where I'm saying you just are so generous with people. I mean, even with words.
Yeah.
You know, I remember being at your son's birthday party.
Yeah.
And how you introduced me to people, like I felt like I was getting like a grand introduction. So just
I wasn't lying.
Yeah. So thank you for being genuine like that.
Absolutely.
And let's go back to that birthday party, because talking about dad of the year, that was the most amazing birthday party I've ever seen. So
most of the credit for that birthday party goes to my wife.
Okay, mom of the year.
Yeah,
Ozzy, we got you.
Ozzy,
we got you.
She worked hard. I helped, but most of it was hers.
Yeah, I mean,
I was just there to help her.
Petting zoo, tacos, rolled ice cream.
Yeah.
What else was Burger Bar?
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, taco.
Yeah, big.
Yeah.
I mean, the backyard. Have you ever seen the movie Old School?
Yeah.
You know, the birthday party that he throws for his kid? That's what it reminded me of. Only no one got shot with a dart and fell in the pool.
Wait till my kids are 21 years old. I'll tell you what a birthday party looks like.
Okay, yeah. I'll be ready again by then.
No, we probably walk in with a cane and just take glasses.
I don't know, man. We're staying pretty healthy. I think we're going to be ready to go. So maybe the young bucks will be able to keep up with us then. As we still got about 13 years for that, though. Yeah. Wait, how old is Radine? 8?
Yeah, so you know that my daughter and my son, they shared a birthday.
Right.
So,
yeah.
So that birthday was, they were born. I don't know how it happened. My son and daughter, they're 2 years apart. They share the same birthday, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So saves me money now, but eventually I'm gonna have 3 birthday parties, one for each and one that actual birthday for them. So
yeah. So well, it's a good thing you work hard.
Yeah, I need to work harder, man.
Right. So let's talk about your business and how you built your business. Do you mind talking about that?
Sure.
Just because, as someone who is entrepreneurially minded, and I want to create my own businesses as well. You have the best hookah lounge in the city, Luna Vegas, right, and primetime real estate as well, right next to the Encore.
Yes.
Tell us about the concept and how you built that vision into what it is today.
Well, so in 2012, one of my good friends and I went to a friend's office who was the property manager, landlord of that location, and I was talking to him with another friend of mine, and he was telling us, hey, I have this location. And then another friend of mine who's my partner right now at that business, who we looked at it, was like, let's do it. So there were 2 separate rooms. One was a wedding chapel, one was a vacant, I think there was hookah lounge before then, but it's very small, nothing fancy. And I told the guy I want both units. And he said, you're not going to be able to do it. I said, now watch me. For saying that, you're going to give me both. I actually wanted the 3rd unit, but I was a little late because another restaurant took over that 3rd unit. I wanted to make it bigger. And my partner and I worked really hard, and you said humble beginnings. That was very hard. We worked really hard to build that. And within 6 months, we became a name in the city. And so, we're operating as a restaurant, bar, and the hookah lounge. And hookah lounge's lifespan is not that long. There are only maybe 3 other lounges that I have a lot of respect for, that they've been in town, 3 or 4 maybe, that they have lasted longer. I mean, they've been there before us and they're still there. Mm-hmm. But it's a very short lifespan for that kind of business. There's a lot of turnover in that business. But we worked hard. My partner and I I have some of the best team. Like my managerial team is the best, and that's I never take credit for the success of the business. It's my team. Okay, if you don't believe in your team, and you do not create a good team with you, it's like my son loves soccer. You could be the best goal scorer in the world, but if you don't have the support from the midfield and defenders and the goalie, get that ball to you to score, you're not going to score. And that's, I think, the key to a successful business is to have a vision, to work very hard towards that vision, but also what kind of a team do you have? I have a good partner. I have good management team. And yes, you get a lot of issues with some employees here, there. It's a big issue nowadays with employees, keeping good employee. But my immediate management team, there are a few of them that I have, they are part of my family there. And they're the ones that they made the business successful. You do need to have the vision from the top. Look at it. You have to control it. But it's the talent of every successful business is to value their most valuable employees and make them as part of the family of that business. To me, that's the key to the success of my business. And granted, we were in a great location, right next to the Encore Casino on the Strip, the only one on the Strip that kind of a business, format. Um, People love it. We get a lot of athletes, a lot of celebrities come there, in just word of mouth. We try to turn it into more of a upscale lounge rather than the typical idea that people have about lounges with hookah. We try to change that mentality, and now there are some other lounges. Well, there were a couple of them before us that they're wonderful, they're successful, but now I see that a lot more are going to that route. They're trying to get better service, higher quality, better ambience, and that's the key, I believe. Having the vision, monitor that vision, work hard for that vision, but the most important thing is the team that you have around you. Our partner, my management team, my staff, my DJs, my promoters. This is what makes you a strong team. You can't do it on your own.
I love that. It goes back to, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go
Yeah.
far, go together.
Yes, absolutely.
And I love how you explain that too, because in my mind, the way you explained it, you have the vision, but you're also cultivating vision as you go.
Yes.
As well. You're adapting and you're growing, as the market changes, as times change.
You have to adapt.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, during COVID, we were very busy, but the government was telling us, hey, you can't have more than 4 or 6 people at a table. You have to have 6 feet distance, or you're going to have dividers. So those are challenges. Those are obstacles. But what you do is you follow the rules of what's given to you, but you learn from them, you adapt, and then you take that knowledge. And once that era is passed, you take that knowledge and implement it in positive ways into your business. And that's what makes you happy. Again, I don't consider myself, I don't consider myself successful yet. I've done well for myself, but I think I have a long way to go. Both me, my partner, we believe that we have more potential. There are different eras, different genres that we could work. But I love the nightlife business too. I love it. And that's what I was telling you, that the key to success, okay, is to be happy. Because I'm happy at what I do, that's probably one of the reasons that the business is doing well.
Right.
I'm not doing there. Of course, I'm there to make money. I want to make money, but I want to make money while I'm happy doing what I love to do.
Right.
And trust me, it's not an easy job. It's a pain in the ass. All right, you have to deal with a lot of issues, both internal and external. Okay, and knowing some of the bad reputations sometimes these bars and lounges have around town, you have to jump over these obstacles. There's a lot of speed bumps on your way, but that's the fun of it. I just put more gasoline in and drive as fast as I can over these obstacles.
I love it.
So,
Excellent. So, I mean, I think that's a great analogy and a great way to set up what I would want to know next. So, what does the future hold for you, for your business, for life in general?
We were planning to expand the business before COVID. Unfortunately, when the pandemic hit, everything changed. Economy changed, the ambience of Las Vegas, the mood, the laws, everything changed. So we're holding off right now. We're holding off to see that we are in an election year. I'm not gonna lie to you. Everything is up in the air. You know, you can argue the economy is good or bad. To us, it was a little bit of a rough year, but we are overcoming that, and we're still busy. We're still popular. That's a good thing. But we want to expand. We want to do something bigger and grander and more elaborate. So there's a chance that where we are right now, you know, we upgrade. You know, they build a new shopping center in 5 years from now. We have an agreement that we could build something really nice. I've spoken with a couple of very well-known celebrities that they might be coming in with us to, you know, so I might have some big names added to us, and that's it. You know, and plus on top of that, I'm expanding other means of business,
Right.
other genres, because I believe you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, absolutely. Diversity
Yeah.
within money
Yeah,
or just opportunity. Right.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's amazing. And, you know, continuing to cultivate that attitude and that happiness. You know, I think one of the most important things that you said business wise is just like, because you love what you do, you were successful. And if more people practice that, I think the world would be better.
Yes. Well, you have to love what you do, but what makes you happy has to be a reasonable happiness.
Oh, yeah,
You
that's true.
cannot be happy by going around and hurting people or doing.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So that fine line, that definition needs to be there. That structure needs to be there. Your happiness cannot be at the cost of other people's well-being. So that's also something that I always think about. You know, and
Yeah.
I get hurt because of that. You know, sometimes you don't do things because you don't want to hurt someone,
Mm-hmm.
and by not doing that, you get hurt. But at the end of the day, again, you're conscious. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not necessarily the most religious person, but I believe in humanity. In I believe in karma, in positive energy. I don't want it to come back at me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. And that is a great place for us to wrap up this conversation. I wish that we could talk for hours because I'm sure we could go off and branch off into so many different subjects.
Yeah.
But again, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to be here. I know your time is very valuable, what we've already talked about. And just for you to take an hour to be here with me and, you know, give your energy and your time to me and to my audience who's going to take so much away from this. I just appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And you know, let people know how they can see you, come see you, get
I
a hold of
appreciate
you.
Well, first of all, I appreciate everything you've done. Thank you for having me here. You're one of the people that I have the utmost respect and regards for, and I wish you nothing but success. I know you're going to be very successful with this show. And anyone that comes to my business and mentions Adam, they'll get a complimentary beverage from me. It's called Luna, and it's not a promotion. It's just as a way of showing support and thank you to you. And I just appreciate you. It's called Luna Lounge. It's right next to Encore, and it's your home, my brother. Anytime you want to come down,
Thank you so
we'll
much,
party
man.
there.
I appreciate you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.